welcome you to my little shop of spirit. If you chose pile 1, you're in the right spot. For your pile, I did choose black, and we'll pull charms as well as, I thought it'd be fun to just pull from the cards from the actual game and use the dice from the game too to see if any messages come through that for me. So, Spirit, what is the opportunity that's calling pile 1? The opportunity that's calling you is one that requires a little bit of risk, courage. I get the sense that your risk sort of offers, I don't want to say greener grass, but that is sort of like the vibe that I'm getting is like it offers an abundance of opportunity should this risk like unfold. But it's a risk that takes, it looks like, a bit of creativity, but it's a risk that would require you to maintain a certain amount of creativity to hold on to it. But you should, pile 1, have a certain amount of confidence, because I do get the sense that in your ability to do that, because I do get the sense that you've alchemized and sort of just alchemized your way through things. There's no other way to put that. You've alchemized your way through things, and this risk would require you to further alchemize. I almost get the sense for you too, pile 1, that you've had to do quite a bit of magic to get to where you are, and it's like the place that you want to go is also requiring you to do a bit of magic. But I mean, like I said, you should have a certain amount of confidence in yourself at this point because you've gotten yourself to where you are using those same things. So life is really just asking you to continue using those methods to take the risk that you want to take. But let's see what the obstacle is, or what's been holding you back so far. That's interesting, because if I didn't, before I got interrupted, if I didn't mention it already, I do get the sense that you are like sort of like covering yourself up, in metaphorically, but not so metaphorically, because like literally actually, but like metaphorically speaking, like not like literally like this, but like you are like energetically like that. In answering the question, what's the fear, the obstacle, we get the sun reversed. So it's almost like the fear is like you're scared to put yourself out there, you're scared to put your whatever it would require to put out there, you're fearing putting that out there. And also, I'm being called to just the heart. It's almost like your heart is holding you back for some reason, not just like a fear. Something to do with your heart. Something you are super attached to is sort of holding you back. What happens if you take the leap is recovery. I'm hearing rest, reprieve. And I'm hearing you'll finally be able to have a break from just like having to unnecessarily guard your softness. You'll be able to take a break from having to guard your things and yourself so much. You won't have to feel so defensive in that. So we have, from the cards come out from the game, this is the traditional tarot, this aspect of it, so I'll let you interpret it how you want to, but we have Eastern United States, Western United States, and North Africa come out. And the United States cards both have yellow territories on them, and the Africa card has red. When I was being called to your heart earlier, I was seeing it as a red heart. And on the bottom of the deck from this game deck, we have destroy all yellow troops, which is interesting because we have, 2 yellow territories there. Both of them being really one territory, though, kind of, because they both belong to the U.S. If you control the yellow troops, occupy 24 territories of your choice instead. And 6, 1, 5, 3 especially, and 11 are coming through really strong in your reading, pile 1. And I want to finish up your messages with just a couple of charms. So for your charms, pile 1, we have 2 suns, one of them with a face on it and a peace sign. Also the victory sign. But the first sun that I pulled out was this yellow, like gold sun, and then the second one that I pulled out has a face on it. So, and we discussed, like, you kind of need to put yourself out there, like, that's the risk that we're discussing in this reading, so that's your risk that you should take. So it's interesting, we get these. Pile 1, we will leave your reading off there for you today. If you found that helpful, don't forget to leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and definitely subscribe so I can hopefully see you again. For now, though, bye. Hello, I'm Luna, and I'd like to welcome you to my little shop of spirit. In today's reading, we will be answering the question, what risk should you take? So we will be discussing what's the risk, what's the fear that you may be having, what's the obstacle, and what would be the outcome should you take that risk. If you chose pile 2, you're in the right spot. I did choose these little blue dudes for you. In the first pile, if you were there in the first pile, I chose like some cannons intuitively for your little dudes over here. And I realized after I closed out that reading, like, oh, that pile probably had like some explosive actions they needed to take, or something, the risk that they would have needed to take maybe would have felt like a cannon going off, you know what I mean? And these guys on your pile 2, you have like a bunch of like horsemen and foot soldiers. So I feel the energy more coming into this of like needing to charge at something. But let's just see, what comes out. So for pile 2, what is the opportunity that's calling pile 2? So I feel like there's something calling you, but it seems like it's like far, 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 far away on the horizon. Like it almost seems like it could be a mirage. And between you and it is just like this barren. This is all metaphor, so you don't really know if it's going to be barren in that. But, you're looking at the risk you want to take, and it seems like between you and that, it's just dry, it's cold, it's not welcoming, it's not warm, there's not that much reward between here and there. It feels very barren. It's a barren trek. But something quite grand is calling you on the other side of that. I think, you may be thinking about all it would take of you resource-wise, perhaps, to make that trek, because, like I said, from you to there, it's quite barren. So you might be thinking, I need this, this, and this to make myself comfortable on the way there, and you don't have that. And it's like you're really comfortable where you are at, looking at the thing that you want, but it would require you to leave all that comfort behind and almost suffer and sacrifice to get to where you're going. Ooh. But I just realized the sash that's on this 3 of Wands figure, it has like a black and white checkered print thing going through. And earlier, I was saying I felt this energy of you just need to take charge. 13:55 on my timer has to say that. And I'm noticing like this black and white sash on this person is like totally reminding me of like a race car flag that gets like waved before a race. Like something is just telling you to just like leap and take that risk. But what's the fear? What's holding this person back? Is it just, I think you're worried that if you leave all these comforts behind, you're going to leave all your resources well behind that would even, it's like, wow, what a catch-22. It's like you're looking at your, this dream, the thing that I called, it almost seems like it could be a mirage. It's not a mirage, okay? It's there. It is there. It's physically there. Like, it's just, there's this barren, seemingly, land between you and it. And it's like, you have all this comfort and all this stuff here that would make it achievable, but you have to leave all that behind to make the trek, and it's like you fear leaving all that behind makes it not possible achieving it once you're there, because you having it is what makes it possible. But let's just see what happens though should you take your leap. Okay, because I honestly am feeling like everything would work out in your favor. You're gonna feel like you're balancing a survival act, I heard. But we get Knight of Wands just like exposing itself there. The same colors from earlier on like the NASCAR like race car flag is like coming back to my attention, and I think I am getting like at least 3 or more confirmations that you need to take this leap, whatever it is for you, pile 2, if you haven't already. What will happen if you take the leap is I get the sense that there's been like conflict around creation in your life, conflict around ownership, and I'm just hearing leadership, and I get the sense that if you take this leap, you will just allowed to be leader, allowed to own your creativity, allowed to own your space. own your space. There won't be competition for your space, your creations, what you own, what you lead. So I think you've been quite stagnant in regards to this situation, but you've developed a wealth, really, of emotional abundance during this time. It's not been an unproductive time. You know, even in stillness, there's still motion. So that's definitely the vibe I've been getting from your Pow too. Like, you've been growing kind of while staying still, but you are getting like urgently pressed by spirit to like take whatever leap it is that you are being called to take. More so than Pile 1. Pile 1 felt like it was just like Pile 1 was like informative. It was like, here's your risk, here's your obstacle, and here's like what would happen. But nothing was coming through. Like, obviously there was encouragement as far as like, yeah, take your risk, it looks good, as far as what I can remember. But with your Pile 2, I've gotten 3 or more confirmations that you need to take your risk. So just so you know. But let's wrap up your messages here. Get any final things that want to come through. Wow. All 3 red dice here landed on 5, 5, 5, 5. And then we also have 1 and 3 here with the blue dice. Wanted to see if any. And just for fun, I shuffled some cards out of the deck from this game risk. And we got 2 cards for you, Pile 2. And I'll let you interpret these how you want to, and you know, they may not have any huge significance for your pile, but let's just unpack the symbolism that came through. So we have Siberia and Middle East come through in your Pile 2. Both of these cards have green territories on them, so perhaps, you know, if not literally those territories are specific to you or significant to you, maybe green is a color that is important to you, or just confirmation. I wanted to also pull some charms before we go. This is so interesting because I've never pulled 2 of these charms, but we have one of them that is like a wolf howling at the moon, and then like a little bluebird charm. And I'm definitely getting the sense like, you know, you're being called again through even the charms, like just claim your territory, like it's your time to come out and claim your territory. And there's also I'm getting a message here about like song or just also social media coming through. So maybe song or communication or just the use of social media. And we have a Pegasus pin, so taking flight. And we also have this pentagram star. And this star to me brings my attention every time to like the 5 elements. But also, this time, I'm being called to, like, the action it takes to draw this star. You know, and the narrative earlier that we discussed where you feel like you may have to leave stuff behind to get to where you're going, and that makes you kind of bare for a little while. You may feel like you're leaving behind all your resources and all that, but it's like, this star, you know, you had to draw each of the lines and connect each of the dots before you got this whole star. So it's like taking that leap and being bare for a while and all that. Like, it's like all your dots will connect with time. That's just the message that's coming through. But yeah, I think we're going to leave your message off there today, Pile 2. I'm healing from COVID, so I'm a little bit tired today, but I hope that was helpful. And if it was, don't forget to leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below if anything resonated. And definitely subscribe so I can hopefully see you again. But for now though, bye. Hello, I'm Luna, and I'd like to welcome you to my little shop of spirit. In today's reading, we'll answer the question, what's the next big risk that you should take? We will be discussing the opportunity, the fear that may be holding you back, or the obstacle, and what should happen if you take the risk. So if you chose Pile 3, then you're in the right spot. I chose these little red guys for you, and I did take notice to the fact that for your pile, I chose a lot of men on horses and a cannon. So the energy that we have for your pile so far is that of taking charge and explosive energy. So Pile 3, let's see what's calling you. Let's see what's calling you. What is calling Pile 3? Something fun, something adventurous, and something that would be a bit of a juggling act but would ultimately bring you balance is what is calling you. You know, I was getting the sense that you would be leaving something behind, but you didn't feel bad about leaving it behind. And we have the Justice card here, and also Ten of Cups coming out, but it's in reverse. So I do feel like the risk that you should take, it would be a risk that would lead to a justice, but it's like a justice that necessarily wouldn't, it's not a justice that you would celebrate necessarily. So however that applies to your situation, you will know how that applies to your situation. But on the bottom of the deck, though, I do want to pull this. Yes. So it's like you may get justice in the situation that you're leaving behind, and it's like, oh, okay, so maybe it's like you can't celebrate it because the justice is like bittersweet. So it's like it's justice. You know, justice is justice, but sometimes justice doesn't feel good to get. Okay, because it's like there's maybe unintended loss and stuff like that. But what we do have come out for your pile 3 is 9 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands. So it may not be the justice and the celebration that you imagined, but you have celebration coming. And to be honest with you, I think it's going to be so much more warm and so much more golden and so more involved, the celebration that you didn't expect and you didn't imagine than the one that you did. So just something to look forward to for sure, because I feel like, you know, you've been through a bit of hardship, pile 3, and it's like this hardship lasted longer than it was supposed to because there was like a judgment being withheld. Let's see what's holding you back though, pile 3. What's holding you back currently from taking this risk? And in my mind's eye, I am getting diamond and like a diamond forming. So maybe part of what's been holding you back is just timing, like the time for something, pressure having to have been made so that the diamond could form, and you know, so that, you know, the food could cook, like you had to cook. So I almost feel like part of what's been holding you back has just been the timing of everything. There's been like divine timing element to your pile. And I did hear like earlier when I was getting that diamond image in my mind's eye, diamond in the rough, and I do feel like maybe that's that situation that you're like leaving behind, and maybe that's the situation that is bittersweet to leave behind, is because that's all you knew was the diamond only knows the environment that it created it. So, and that's not to say this environment created you, but you did go through I'm getting just rough circumstances. What's holding pile 3 back? 13:23 on the timer as I say that. 1323 on the timer. What? Good Lord. Okay. I feel like this isn't a criticism because it just is what it is, but all of this is information, so take from this what you will, and then like, you know, chew on that. But I feel like partly it's been like you a little bit holding you back at this point, and it's almost like your future is like tugging you towards it. Like it's like you've been ignoring your intuition for some reason. But I'm just hearing like hands of fate or like clock of fate or something, and like it comes around and it's like something is due. What should happen though should pile 3 take the leap that they're considering? Clarification on this Chariot. Pile 3, I'm totally getting like why the hesitation on your part, because it's like it's like I'm just getting the intuition of, or like the feeling of like intuition being blocked, and we have like 2 of Swords coming out, and it's just like further confirmation of like confusion. And okay, stuff is starting to happen. Okay. You have quite the lore, pile 3. You may have had 3 or more prominent people in your life that were against you. I'm definitely getting one person specifically maybe, but 3 or more were involved, and you felt sabotaged is just the word that's coming to mind, and because of that it's made you feel defensive, and it's kind of put blinders on for you. It's caused the haziness is what I'm getting. So what you don't see though, because I'm getting we've had some strife, okay, with others in our lives, but at this point this 4 Swords card is reversed, and you're positioned more favorably than you realize, basically is what I'm getting at. You're positioned more favorably than you realize, and I think actually you have sort of like secret weapons at this point that you aren't aware of, and I think others aren't aware of as well. So I don't know if those are like gifts that are like waiting to be activated. What's this 4 Swords, Spirit? Wow. Wow. 8 on my timer as I say this, but your... So we get Wheel of Fortune and trying to clarify the Four of Swords reverse. We get Wheel of Fortune in reverse. But we have, in answering, like, what is this Four of Swords reversed about? We get Wheel of Fortune reversed. This card, the Four of Swords reversed is always like, this is like, you've acquired secret abilities that you're aware of, that you're not aware of. But this happened while you were, like, defensive and put into, like, a hermit mode. We have, what's this card about? We get the Wheel of Fortune in reverse signifying increase, abundance. Okay, increase in abundance. What should happen? Give me more info on this Chariot reverse. I feel like this Chariot in reverse, I honestly am feeling like there's some element of like self-deception because of this betrayal or whatever this sabotage or like fight or combativeness was from these other individuals or other people or things. It's created like an illusion that you wear, okay? And it's creating a lot of confusion and you don't know what to do and stuff, but you're being called to just use your intellect. Okay, slice through all that confusion with your intellect. You are the star. You're due your recognition, your time in the sun, and your space. We have, and I'm including the cards from the game just for fun, see if any additional like symbolism comes through, and we will roll the dice here. So we're getting 2, 6, 4, 10, 8 is being called to my attention, and 5. With the cards from the game board, we have Afghanistan, and the color is green. So maybe those are further confirmations for you. But we will end your reading off today, Pile 3, with some messages from the charms. I just had, as I was going through the charms here, I had a song coming for your pile, but we have a tennis racket with a tennis ball on it, and then a little constellation in blue resin, and it looks like the constellation is like a running figure, and we have a moon with a star encased in it, like a little crescent moon, and an owl. So the song that I had come through for your reading was the song called Sports by Viagra Boys, I think is the name. It's definitely coming to my attention again through your charms here, like the abilities that you've picked up during this time alone that you seem to have spent alone. And maybe if you weren't literally alone, you were like alone in thought. You felt alone in thought. So maybe you didn't feel like anybody else was on your wavelength for a little while and that made you feel alone, even if you had like people around you. But it's like this time actually has made your heart space and like your emotional realm shine. You are like shining because of this right now. And you have like a superior form of intelligence because of it. It's like kind of creepy. People might be spooked out by your level of intelligence at this point because of what you've acquired from what you've been through. But let's leave your messages off there for today, Pile 3. I hope that was incredibly helpful. If it was, definitely leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below if anything resonated, and subscribe so I can see you again. For now though, bye. Hello, I'm Luna and I'd like to welcome you to my little shop of spirit. In today's reading, we'll be answering the question, what risk should you take? If you chose Pile 4, you're in the right spot. And I actually forgot to get your little guides that I set up for everybody else, so maybe that means something, but let me do that real fast. We're back for you, Pile 4, with your little guides, and I chose green for your pile. Hopefully that is resonating for you. I did take notice to, we have several cannons, a little horse guy, and a foot soldier. So I'm getting the energy of like something that's explosive and requiring a lot of groundwork and footwork and manpower. If this is something you're doing alone, obviously that's something that's requiring a lot of you. But let's see, what is this risk? Okay, we have the moon in reverse. This risk is something that's sort of quietly and sternly looking at you to take it. It's reminding me of like a parent when it's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's the vibe I'm getting, and that's your risk, and then the energy around your risk is like it's gnawing. It's gnawing at you to answer it. For Pile 4, you have a very grounded energy about you. So it's like the risk that you should take right now is to, wow, I'm feeling like just a really strong heart for you, Pile 4, because it's like, I just feel the stability and like the comfort. I could cry for you. there's Temperance on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like you're a really calm individual. Okay, I'm back. I just had to... you guys made me tear up really bad. So I also injured my wrist while I was away, but I injured specifically my left wrist, so I wanted to see what that had to do with the reading. But the left wrist is associated with receiving energy, intuition, emotions, and personal reflection. It's a symbolic space for items representing inner life, connection to the self, and receptivity to outside influences. This side of the body, the left, is considered more introspective than the right, and I was totally just pulled away. You may have a lot of issue with like snapping in and out of reality, like mentally, because that's happening to me as I do this reading, and that happens to me in real life. I'm quite familiar with the feeling, but the reason I got so emotional though is because I can feel the emotional stability and warmth that you offer for others. Okay, I'm getting emotional again. But then I can feel we are going to do our best to get through this without crying. Okay, so I think I'm good now. But what I was trying to say is I can feel all the warmth and the stability that you offer people. And then I feel also how hard you are searching for that. Okay. I can't do your reading if you're if I'm gonna be so emotional, if you're gonna make me cry. But let's go ahead and just do some other aspects so I can just like calm down. Okay, we got 2 4s, 2 2s, and a 1. And I'm actually being called to just go ahead and pull from these as well. I feel like one of those just flipped. Okay, I guess not. You know, that's like, it's really interesting because I feel like one of the messages I wanted to get into earlier, like as I was getting emotional, was that I feel like your intuition and like developing your intuition and trusting your intuition, and 1441, as I say that on the timer, we have come out for your pile from the game boards deck. South Africa, East Africa, and New Guinea. And on the African cards, both of those territories are red. On New Guinea, that territory is purple. So a lot of passion in your scenario, pile 4, potentially a lot of anger as well. I'm picking up on that specifically. I don't always pick up on anger with red. I'm more of like a red symbolizes passion for me. Oh, okay. And you know what? Interesting! I'm sorry, it's just, I said it earlier, you know, we've been dealing with this, your pile is dealing with, I don't trust my intuition, I feel crazy, people have made me feel crazy, and like, you know, I'm not crazy though, okay? it's just funny to have to tell yourself that, like, because it's hard to sound sane when you're like, I'm not crazy. But you have to just know, you've had to get to the point though, where you're just like, that's enough for me. Is like me telling me. Because I think maybe for a little while, you were so open and like loving and stuff, you look to the people that you love to tell you you're like, they tell me I'm not crazy, so I know I'm not crazy, blah, blah, blah. And but then it's like, they got to a point maybe where they were telling you you're crazy. And you were like, ooh. The people that I love the most is who's hurting me in this regard. You know, you've had to develop like a strength upon yourself to believe in yourself. That's what I'm getting at. The card that we have, though, is Destroy All Blue Troops. I'm sitting here realizing there is no purple in the game. I said Papua New Guinea. I don't know why I said that. New Guinea's card is blue, not purple, okay? And that's coming back to that message of, like, you having to discern and, like, come to terms with your own intuition and, like, not being crazy. And, like, people gaslighting you. That's sort of, like, what I'm getting at here, the energy. And so what was happening here, though, is, like, there is no purple in the game. There's blue in the game. So it's like this blue was deceptive that it was purple. And purple has to deal with intuition. That's why I was like, you developed your intuition during this earlier. Like, it's all coming together. But, like, deception built and strengthened and sharpened your intuition, okay? The mission card that we have come out, though, is Destroy All Blue Troops. So, destroy the thing that was confusing you. Destroy the thing that was making you feel crazy. Destroy the thing that was making you second guess yourself. And it's like, I get the sense that something that was hurting you was like, this thing that was hurting you was also putting you in, it was also like, it was tricking, it was deceptively hurting you. You know, some things are easy to know when they're hurting you or trying to hurt you because they're so outright about it and so forward about it and so flat about it that there's only a 2D way to look at it. There's only two sides of a paper. There's only two sides of a coin, two sides of a pancake. So 10:30 though on the clock, as I say that, or 1:03 on my timer, you know, I feel like there's a lot of scorpionic, Plutonian energy here where it's like, from the ashes I rise, from the ashes I rise, but it's like continual burning. For some reason, I didn't get all this in the other one's Pal 4. Are you Pal 4? Yes. You got a lot going on, Pal 4. You're living life, okay? And I don't mean like, oh my god, you're living life. You're like partying every night. You're going to the club every night. Like, you're living life. This is the stuff that people write poetry about, okay? Like, this is the stuff that breaks hearts. This is the stuff that, like, moves mountains. Like, the stuff that you're living, it's not the easy stuff. It's not the pretty stuff. It's the hard stuff. It's the gritty stuff. It's life force. I definitely feel that. Something about your lifestyle though is like, you're meant for something so terrific, but it's like the life around you is like quicksand. Oh, but what I was getting at is like, you know, some things are easy to like outright see that they're angry or outright see that they're trying to bring you down, and then sometimes they're not. And I feel like you've gotten a hold of like a genius demon, because this thing is like honestly behaving as an angel would so that you'll stay around it, so that it can demonize you more. It's feeding you so you're not hungry so that you're there. It's clothing you so that you're not cold so that you're there. It's gifting you so that you don't have suspicion about its intentions. It's stuff like that. Okay, it's stuff like that. It's doing things that people who do want to hurt you typically don't do because they can't get past their rage. This is a calculated rage that this person has. Like, your enemies are calculated. They'll do good things to you to get closer so that they can do the bad thing to you. That's what your enemies are like. I'm getting cold chills as I say that. Like, you, Pal 4. I wish I could talk to you in person. You deserve the world. The world, Pal 4. Like, I feel that. I really do. The earth. The whole earth belongs to you. What? That keeps happening with you, Pal 4. Like, I'll have a card jump out, go back in, or a card flip, and then I can't find it. You're magnificent, though. You shine like you don't even realize you shine. Like, you know those people that like you pass by and you're like, oh my god, they're so gorgeous, and then you meet them and like, or maybe you observe them and like they have no idea they're that beautiful. That's you. That is literally you. Like, your circumstances have made you not even realize the capacity of which that you have to offer. Like, you have an inkling, but I can see you have actually a whole ink bottle, not just an inkling. You have an inkling of the whole bottle, of the whole ink tank to offer, and your presence and just you are profound. But Pal 4, you're so intense. Let's get to your reading. What is the opportunity that's calling you? You've been stabbed in the back multiple times over and killed dead by something. The thing that's calling you is to survive. The thing that's calling you is to stay alive, because the only thing that I can feel it, okay, there is like there is something. And okay, I'll just say like an entity. Something wants you dead. Okay? Something wants your life force, like your energy, your shine, dulled. They don't want you to culminate into what's completely possible for you. It would be the worst day for them. Whatever you have to do to motivate you, you need to find that. Whatever it is that motivates you, you need to find that. If that's kicking yourself in the butt to get up in the morning, if it's working out, if it's being sweet to yourself, if it's whatever it is. Okay, and I don't mean like don't physically abuse yourself. I'm just saying like if you have to be like, dude, you need to get up and do this. If you need to talk to yourself stern, talk to yourself stern. Okay, like if you need to parent yourself, do that. But whatever you need to do to stay alive and get up, you need to do that. Because this situation here is calling for like your death, honestly, whatever this is. But we have Ace of Cups here. Like, you don't realize like the beautiful fountain overflowing like with love and joy and like beauty. You're like a marble Aphrodite statue in like the middle of the woods. Like, okay, that's what it's like stumbling on this energy. It's like this magnificent thing and you're like, what are you doing here? And like the statue doesn't know it's misplaced, though it very well is. And you know, if anybody were to move it to a museum, maybe it would gain some perspective once it was there. But it could just live its whole life in the forest and know no better. Okay, that's the circumstances that you find yourself in, Pal 4. What's holding you back, though? Oh my goodness. Very quickly, I'm having like really strong downloads and my throat is just like rushing with heat. Partnership and duality and like just partnership, okay? People and being a pair. So partnerships are what's holding you back, and you may actually think partnerships are, you don't believe in yourself and your ability to create what it takes to get to where you're going. That's what I'm getting right now. We get Ace of Wands in reverse, so you don't think you have what it takes to manifest like this reality, the risk that you want to take. You are, you're not believing in yourself. These partnerships that you have, that's what they aim to do. They aim to make you not believe in yourself. They aim to make you not take that step, because if they make you not believe in yourself, then you don't do what it is that you're meant to do, and then they can put you down all the way in the dirt. They don't have justification to, but in their head, they do. They can think they were never meant for greatness. They were never meant for blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's what this energy is. They want you to be down in the dirt so that they have a self-fulfilling prophecy come to life. But your partnerships are like really being highlighted as planting these fears within you, okay? Like, you really need to detach from, you need to practice the art of detachment and discernment, Pile 4, because not everything that you take on is yours to take on. And some of that you need to let go. And learn and practice the art of detachment, and definitely practice the art of discernment. What should happen for you, Pile 4, though, if you take this risk, if you take the leap? So what will happen is those who tried to hold you down will be forced. It's like they will be strapped in for the show. If you take this leap, it's like those who tried to hold you down will be strapped in and forced to watch. All this passion and energy and life force will be focused and directed into this risk that you take, which is where it needs to be, and then all the light, like the spotlight shines on you. Your thoughts, your communications, your intentions, and the things that you will into life, that's what will have the focus on it. And you're divinely protected. This life force and vitality, it's like it's protected divinely while you do this effort, okay? I'm getting like confirmation on that. Triple confirmation that spirit is protecting you, harnessing and grooving this life force into the grooves it needs to go. And what these people don't actually see, and I'm seeing this strong, this is so sweet for you, Power 4, after all that you've been through. Like, honestly, it's sickening. But what they don't see, what those who will be strapped in for this show and forced to watch your like glow up don't see, is that their efforts were actually the keys explicitly that unlocked like this era for you. You have just strength, and it's like you're partnered with the divine at this moment, and like they are giving you the courage and the strength that you need to get over this time, to get through this time, to get through it. 1812 on my timer as I say that. But let's pull some charms for you, Pal 4, and then leave your messages there. And I do, and that's funny because I'm pulling out a cloud here. It's like all your gifts throughout your life have been tried. Those who were out against you, they attempted to flip them on their head. So it's like I was getting, again, as I was pulling cards, it's almost like with this Hierophant in reverse card, I'm noticing like there's this white stripe like on the robe. And it like made me think about just your head being detached and like having to, it's almost like I don't know why I'm putting those back. Okay, here it is. It's almost like you had to meet your intuition even though it was there all along. And it's like, I just like totally I'm like healing from COVID right now. So I'm going through some symptoms and stuff, but still, I really feel like people have tried to silence you, Pile 4. Like twice in your reading, I've had my throat affected. And like right then, I just completely had like my speech halted. And a moment ago, my throat flushed hot. I've never had that happen, and I'm having a song come through for you again, and I don't know why, but as I was pulling my charms, I was thinking about the music note and stuff. We do have this guitar come out. It's like an electric guitar, and I'm having come to mind Lisa's Rockstar. So maybe that's just confirmation for you if you're here that this is your pile. What were we talking about, though? Like, I feel like you have had to meet your intuition through your life. It's almost like it's been a separate entity, but it was always there. But you're very familiar with it because it was always there. But it did feel separate from you, especially like in childhood and like early teen years. But you became more familiar with it and more I mean, now at this point, I feel like you are one with it, really, and you're like learning to utilize it and strengthening it more because you've become one with it. So we also have come out for you, pile, for the 5 charm, just signifying change. Maybe 5 is a significant number for you, and the butterfly charm. So lots of change, lots of transformation, but I think actually you are on, for you, pile, for you are the butterfly. You are actually in the blossomed second half of a transformation. So you've already made the transformation as far as this is. And you're ready to take flight. You want to take your wings and take them somewhere now. You've transformed from this and you're ready to go and fly. So I want to leave your messages there for today, Pile 4. If you found that helpful at all, definitely leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below if anything resonated. And subscribe if you'd like, because I'd love to see you again. But for now, though, bye. Hello, I'm Luna, and I'd like to welcome you to my little shop of spirit. In today's reading, we'll be answering the question, what risk should you take? We'll also look at what are your fears or obstacles, and what would be the outcome should you take the leap. So if you chose pile 5, you're in the right spot. I chose for you, pile 5, the yellow characters. And I did take notice too that I was called to pick specifically all foot soldiers with your pile. So I feel like maybe there is a bit of footwork, and I'm just getting like a playful energy about it though, and I heard running around. So maybe there's some running around that needs to be done in regards to your risk. But let's see, what is the opportunity that's calling you? So I am getting that something's asking you to free yourself from it. It may seem impossible, it may seem like you're trying to get yourself out of a straitjacket. Like, it'd be nice if you had someone else to help. Feels more like a 2 or more person job. So I feel that it's the world is calling you, but I'm getting this energy of just feeling like from your position it feels like the world is closing in, or if not closing in, it's like it's a bull that's just slowly, if not any other way, pushing up against you. And so this thing that is supposed to be like a rather open experience for you, you feel like you're topsy-turvy and unstable and not really using all the access that you have to all this direction. Ends up feeling just like you have no direction instead. So you end up feeling directionless with all this direction that's at your doorstep. You may be battling bondage to something. Certain behaviors, certain patterns, certain substances, people, things, anything. But it looks like you've actually, I think part of what's made you feel closed in actually is whatever those things are that were bounded to you and chained to you, and whatever it was that was your bondage. I feel like you're someone who's really in tune with like your higher self, and I feel like you've inherently and naturally released and are working on anything that's left, whatever was bound to you and like acts as a bondage. And I think this is actually indirectly what was making the outside world feel so small, is the chains to those things. And I think maybe subconsciously, if not so directly and consciously, you've identified that. If maybe not so directly, but maybe indirectly and subconsciously, you knew that, and you know that, and you changed it, and you're working to change it. You're trying to find stable ground. You're looking for love. And I'm not necessarily getting I think there's very many people with passion towards you, and very many people could act lustfully towards you. But I think what you're really just looking for is just love in general, and then I think there's potential for you to find your true soulmate in that endeavor. I'm just getting this sense of maybe you've been unrightfully demonized, and I'm getting the image in my mind's eye of a bat. So you might have a bat spirit animal, or you can look up the symbolism of bats, and just maybe that narrative and their symbolism speaks to you in this moment. And 1342 on my timer as I say that. And what's interesting about 1342 is it's like all the right numbers, but they're like all jumbled up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're all jumbled up. And that's the same exact feeling that I've been getting from your pile. It's like everything's right, but it's not. Everything is perfect, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it. You've had to develop your intellect a lot through this. and probably from being left in the cold one too many times. So what should happen if you take the leap? What's holding you back? What's holding you back is a false union to something. Something that did leave you out in the cold and pretends and projects itself as union isn't. Okay, that's another thing. There's a lot of, I don't know how to explain this, but there's a lot of like opposites pretending to be the thing that you're meant to have in your life that are holding up the true things that should be in those places. What would happen if Pile 5 takes the leap? I think you will, well, first of all, you're becoming stronger than you've ever been, and it's hard to like be in that energy, because to me, when I'm going through the process of like I'm becoming the strongest I've ever been, during that time I feel the weakest I've ever been. So it's like kind of an ironic paradox to exist within emotionally and physically and mentally and spiritually. Just on every level, it's very difficult to exist in, because it's like, but that just goes into the narrative. It's like that goes into your narrative, Pile 5, of these things that look like the thing you're supposed to have but aren't the thing that you're supposed to have, and then are holding up that place. People think you feel strong right now, and like you don't feel strong, but like you are strong. But that just is tying into that narrative of like things almost like this twisted mirror. And what will happen if you come out and take the leap? The leap, I was gonna say, so like the leak, that's interesting. Maybe coming out and leaking something is your leap. I don't know, but what will happen though is a celebration of your own. You've had to use a keen sense of intellect to define what means what to you in this life, because people have really done their best work to twist just typical things of life for you, and it's made it difficult to enjoy just regular enjoyment. Like, I don't know how else to say that, but hopefully that's resonating for you, Pile 5. It's like you will define and find what celebration looks like to you on the other side of all this, Pile 5. I want to pull cards from the game boards deck just for fun, see if there's any symbolism there while we're here taking risk. And we will roll dice as well and pull charms before we go. The territories that we have here are Scandinavia, a place called Kamchatka, I've never heard of that, and a card that reads Northwest Territory. The colors that we have on these cards are, in this order, are blue, green, yellow. So, you know, maybe this is a situation that began very emotional, developed into something more grounded, and then became something that was became something that you were supposed to take and just focus on yourself with. And the mission that we have here is occupy 18 territories of your choice. Each must have at least 2 troops. So, you know, maybe 18 to 20 is significant to you. Maybe taking up more space by demand is significant to you. Maybe you've had to learn and being forced by spirit to take up more space in your own life. Okay, that's kind of, so think about that, Pile 5. You've had to work to take up space in your own life. Okay, think about that. Okay, because I think if you think about that, it'll push you to take up even more space rightfully. We have 2, 2, and 4 coming out on the red dice, and 1 and 5 coming out on the blue dice. 6 with certainty could be a significant number for you, and 66. We have a mask charm coming out, a masquerade charm. I heard someone else took their mask off, but it's time for you to put yours on. And I don't know why, but I have always been called to these like masquerade masks. We also have a heart charm coming out, but it's like an unbalanced heart. So, you know, one side is bigger than the other. You may have been in a situation where you were giving more than you were getting. We have a star come out with love you written all over. I think what makes you special is your heart. And you were probably giving more than you were getting from these figures who are trying to twist truth and stability and reality, like the reality matrix and like the definitions it comes with. These people were trying to twist that. But we have here a horse that looks so spectacular and magical, it might as well be a unicorn. The Tree of Life, you may be, this is coming up, interested in your own ancestry or something relevant to, like, your story is waiting for you in your ancestry. We have a manta ray here as well. I've never pulled this charm. Maybe you are being called at this time to do something you've never done before, okay? And that's maybe why you feel so tied up about it. We also have a dolphin here. just confirmation on your emotional intelligence. We also have the Hamsa hand with the evil eye in the center of it. Okay, I do feel like you need to protect your energy, pile 5. That is like no joke. Okay, and use discernment about what energy you... Protecting your energy sounds like so confusing and stuff, but like, don't just allow everything people say to affect you. Don't allow everything you witness to affect you, okay? Become more meditative about it. Like, you know how in meditation they ask you to just let a thought pass you by. If a thought crops up, you just... that's fine, but like, you let it pass. And like, do the same thing with people's like judgments and thoughts and opinions and blah blah blah. Like, all this stuff that usually and typically would have affected you. Use more discernment, and you're very special, okay? There are things that want to take you out, and you're strong and built to last, okay? We have the elephant and the rhinoceros coming out, and finally the moon with the crescent star in it. Your heart space is so special, and you have something to offer that is special and magical and unique and one of a kind and rare, okay? That's coming through like multiple times, especially in your charms, like multiple confirmations in your charms. You're meant to shine. Something about you is meant to make it out to the public, okay? So I don't know if you have something in particular in thought that you are wanting to bring out to the public, but your reading is telling you that whatever it is, do it. There wasn't a single pile actually in today's reading where the risks that they should take. A lot of the risks were different, unique, and one of the piles even made me come to tears. I think it was the last one, and none of the piles though were told to not take the risk. Okay, so whatever the risk is that you are wanting to take, Spirit is pushing you to take that risk. But I'm going to leave your reading off there for today, pile 5, and I hope that was helpful. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below. Definitely subscribe as well so I can hopefully see you again. For now though, bye!